I bought an actual stand for this, so I hope that works better. It is starting to get windy because there's, I guess, a storm that's supposed to come through. But you know what? I don't care. I had a great church service, and I'm gonna continue on putting God first. I don't care if it starts raining. Um, we're in Matthew 20, as you can tell by the title. I just want to tell you a quick thing while you get there. Today at church was amazing. For those of you that don't know, I'm on a praise team at my church, and the Spirit really moved through me, and uh, I like told them to keep singing, and he used me to pray over people, and it was really cool. The pastor couldn't preach what he was gonna preach, so he came up with something out of Acts on the spot that went along with what happened. That was really cool, and I think that more's coming, and I'm ready for it. I've been praying that God would use me like that for a long time, and today he's done it, and I had no doubt that he would. I knew that I was in a waiting period. I was just waiting, man, and he did it. But now church is over, and I don't want to end it. I don't want it to end. So here I am reading Matthew 20. I think I might continue with live streams because I feel like it's easier and better. So we're gonna see how this goes. You guys can let me know if you prefer the live streams or not. Um, but let's get into it. So Matthew 20 starts out. It says there's laborers in the vineyard. It's a parable. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a house who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. And after agreeing with the laborers for a denarius a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And going out about the third hour, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, 'You go into the vineyard too, and whatever is right I will give you.' And so they went." So something I want to talk about is these hours that he's talking about. He says in the third hour, in the ninth hour and 11th hour later on, stuff like that. The third hour is about 9 o'clock in the morning. That's what I found on Google, and I've been looking it up, and that's what makes sense. So it's 9 in the morning is what the third hour is. He went out to look for laborers. He said, "Come work in my vineyard." So they went, and they're laboring in the vineyard. It says that whatever is right I will give you, and so they went. Going out again about the sixth hour and the ninth hour, he did the same. So about noon and 3 o'clock, he did the same. Went out and found people that need to work, and he brought them in so that they could work. He said, "Why do you stand here idle all day in the 11th hour? Why do you stand here idle all day?" And they said, "Because no one hired us." So he said, "You go into the vineyard too." And when evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Call the laborers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last up to the first." So earlier, literally the last verse in chapter 19, it says, "But many who are first will be last, and the last will be first." And this is kind of explaining that right here. Call the laborers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last up to the first. When those hired about the 11th hour came, each of them received a denarius. A denarius is a day's wage. So even though they only worked 1 hour, they got paid for a day. And it says that when those who were first hired came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received a denarius. And on receiving it, they grumbled at the master of the house, saying, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But the master replied to him and said, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what belongs to you and go. He said, I choose to give to this last worker as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or do you begrudge my generosity? So the last will be first and the first last. I said what I said at the beginning of this because it went along with this a little bit. Just because God used me a certain way doesn't mean he won't use somebody else the same way if they just gave their life to Christ. He uses people even when they don't even realize it. And so just because I work, I serve God one way doesn't make me any better than this person who serves him another way. And just because I've served God X amount of years, but this person has served him X amount of months, doesn't make me more worthy of anything than that person. So all of us receive grace, mercy, Jesus himself, his Holy Spirit, and that's it. That's all we need. Just it, just believe in him, put your faith in him. And if everyone's doing that, they're all going to get the same thing. And that's okay. No one's better than anybody else. And then he goes on and he tells he tells about his death again for a third time. It says, and as Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside. And on the way he said to them, see, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death, and deliver him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged and crucified, and he will be raised on the third day. So he's going, they're going, he's like, we're going up to Jerusalem, guys. Talking to the 12. We're going up to Jerusalem, and I'm going to be delivered to the Gentiles, and I will be flogged and mocked and crucified. He's already done this. The disciples did not like that, but he was speaking truth. He was warning them. He was letting them know what was going to happen. But, get off me. And then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came up to him with her sons. So this mother came up with her two sons, and she talks to Jesus. It says, kneeling before him, she asked him for something. And he said to her, what do you want? And she said, say that these two sons of mine are to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your kingdom. And Jesus was probably taken aback a little bit. He probably looked at her and was like, what are you talking about? And he says, you do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I am to drink? And they said to him, we are able. He looked at them and said, can you drink the cup that I am to drink? And he said, they said, yes, we are able to do that. And Jesus said, you will drink my cup, but to sit at my right hand and at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father. And when the 10 other disciples heard this, they were indignant at the two brothers. But Jesus called them to him and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. It shall not be so among you, but whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be first among you must be your slave, even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. You can see when you look around the political leaders, the president, whoever's in his cabinet, the senators in your state, whatever, they think that they're at the top, and that means they get to do all this, and the people just obey. But they take that and believe that they're great. They believe that they're doing something, and they're really not doing anything. They're just in a position that humans have put them in. The real people that are great are the people way down here on the scale, and they, like Jesus, wash people's feet. They wait tables, and they help somebody with something, a burden, like they help them mow their lawn for free. They help them with anything. They, like Jesus said, if someone makes you go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. And so we need to be servants, not have people serve us. We shouldn't be prideful, but we should be humble. Um, Whoever would be first among you must be your slave. Even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Like, think about this. Up in heaven, he was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go down as a man. And I know they're going to kill me. I know they're going to hurt me in many ways, more than physical, but also emotional. I'm going to do it anyway because I love them. And I don't want anybody to serve me, but I'm going to serve them. That's what it's all about. When Jesus says to follow me, that's not just saying the things that he says. That's not just saying, oh, I'm a Christian with your Christian mug that says Jesus saves and your t-shirt. That's not what it's about. Following him is literally a lifestyle. You serve people because it shows Christ through you, not because it makes you great, but because people might see Christ through you. It says in verse 29, as they went out of Jericho, a great crowd followed him. And behold, there were 2 blind men sitting by the roadside. And when they heard that Jesus was passing by, they cried out, Lord, have mercy on us, Son of David. The crowd rebuked them, telling them to be silent. But they cried out all the more, Lord, have mercy on us, Son of David. So they're walking along. There's crowds that are coming by, and they're like, they can probably hear people saying his name, and they're asking for all sorts of things. So these 2 blind men know that this must be the one that's been healing all these other people. So I know that he can heal me too. And they cried out to him. But the crowds were rebuking them for some reason, probably because they thought they were better than the other 2. But Jesus saw those 2 blind men and thought the same thing about them that he thought about the crowds. And that's what it's about also. Not being partial. The way that you love your mother, your father, your siblings should be the same way that you love the outcast who doesn't have a family, or the way that you would feed your friends when you guys hang out should be the same way that we feed the homeless. And when we invite people to church and we invite like our close friends and family, we should also invite the people that don't get invited. So we shouldn't be partial toward anybody. And Jesus knew this. I mean, he's God in flesh. So he called them and said, what do you want me to do for you? And they said, Lord, let our eyes be open. And Jesus, in pity, touched their eyes, and immediately they recovered their sight and followed him. And that's just chapter 20, and it's not much, but we have to allow Jesus to work in us. And we have to let him work in us, not just toward people we're close to, but toward people that we don't know. It's a lifestyle. You give up your desires, your wants, for his desires and wants. And I'm telling you, not everything we think that we need is what we need. Sometimes we want something like sitting at the right hand or the left hand, but Jesus knows you don't want that. To sit at his right hand and left hand like the sons of Zebedee wanted, and to drink of the cup, that was a lot. But it is worth it. You want God to use you, you're going to have to put in some time and effort and prayer and worship and fasting to allow him to use you. You're going to have to let him train you up and teach you. He will equip the called. He doesn't call the equipped. And so if it's on your heart that you want to serve God a certain way, that's not an accident. And there's a reason for it. And you need to put it into action by spending time with him and asking him to use you, and then letting him use you. Don't just let that sit inside of you. We have the Spirit in us. I told the congregation today, the Spirit of God lives in us. It's not just around us. It's not just above us. It's not just in heaven. It's inside of us. The same power that raised Christ from the dead lives inside of us. So we can use it by simply asking him to use us and then obeying what he tells us to do. But I don't know if you guys have any prayer requests, but you could put them down in the comments. On the live, for some reason, when I save the live stream, I don't see the comments that are commented. So if you have prayer requests, put them in the comments after this video is uploaded. I would like to take time to pray for you guys, and other Christians in the Christian community would love to pray for you. And that's pretty much it. I know it's only 16 minutes, but a lot's going to change with this. I like the live stream better, and I think I'm going to keep doing it. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Don't forget to keep following Christ after church and stop only following him in church, but follow him all week. Anyway, I hope you guys stay blessed. Thank you very much.